Envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment. Preserve set progress. Sustain the system.
Assessor Ostergaard making a mess of things.
Sustain the system. Serve the sovereign.
Combatant observed.
Are you mentally refreshed?
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Prudence dictates we route all disruptive influences.
Appropriate seal for their assigned work. Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not
Enemy
just a
in
good
vicinity.
idea. It's the law.
Proceeding to attack. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Vitals are in the red, Commander.
Fascinating.
Our enemies envy our prosperity. A sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Figures. But that component couldn't have gone far. I hope.
Is someone tapping into the power here?
That was definitely something.
Oh, were you? Why, after only just 2 weeks on my own, ascertained how... Why, just the other day, I reinvented fire. Who can say, really? One day you... Thus? Yes, indeed. I know this cave and why, you'd probably need the necessary innards to its control board, which I happen to have in my... I might be convinced to part with them for a small favor. Some key legwork for a mighty hunter. Me, I'm fixing to take down one of the local ursopods. A few sprat corpses would be helpful as bait. Gather some, and we'll make a trade. As much as I appreciate the compliment, such work is beneath someone of my skills. Accomplished hunters like me are well known to enlist aid from peons, underlings, and guides. Their habitat stretches from inside the archive's entrance to all over the overlands. Actually, should be no problem to locate. Here's a fetching headpiece that ought to make it easier. Put it on, and they'll see you as one of their own. Like a fellow sprat of unusual size. Won't run away. Have at it now. I'll learn you all about self-sufficiency and survival yet.
Hoyt. Name's Hoyt, right? I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals, coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant a field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
Greg on the string. Look at stage today. Mentally refreshed.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Consul. The Consul provides the
Did you get the sprats I need? So I might, bait the equal parts canny and fierce ursopod into a trap? Finally, give it here.
I was forced to eat sprat when stranded once myself, though I demonstrated considerable less zeal.
Sorry you had to see that. The parcels of victuals my neighbor sends over the tube have fallen off recently. Barely eaten for days. Sent me over a bunch of recordings, along with victuals. Offered some sound, if harshly put, advice. Looked out for me like no one's ever. Never even seen him face to face. I do so hope he's all right. Anyhow, suppose we had a deal. Here, I wrenched these parts free out of the Spyreton lift controls. Just jam them back in there and kick it once or twice. Should work fine. Drop back in again sometime, will you? Occasionally, I do get a little starved for, company.
Our forces and antis await your command to proceed. Postponement acknowledged. Standing by until further confirmation.
console provides the system of
Corpificator in charge. Gravel claws, eh? Me, you get the claw.
Taking the fight out of them, locking them down.
Adversary vulnerable.
Pushing ahead!
All gotcha.
Grenade! Away!
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Do try to limit further damage, Commander.
Both sides are ready and waiting. Shall we executing primary operation now?
defend it.
Our enemies envy our prosperity. Disseeing our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
What was in those rations? Oh, will this gastric nightmare never cease? Oh. Just a moment. Forgive me. I found myself irregularly indisposed from one direction or the other.
Don't envy you. Try and drink plenty of water, huh? Maybe have a lie down?
I am the Archive's current operator. As such, I am the bearer of the Calcaduceus. I still have trouble saying that. I suppose it is part ceremonial item, part computronical key. Grants special access across the archive by transmitting a series of advanced calculations when waived. If you have cleared our fortifications outside, I worry what has happened to our troops. I have little interest in sharing their fate. I would pass the Calcaduceus on to you in exchange for granting me safe passage. The archive would then recognize you as its operator. All right. I am providing you the Calcaduceus. Don't shoot. Here, you are now operator of the archive. Is there a protectorate curativist in the house? I feel rather woogly.
Just coming here.
Yeah.
Calcaduceus detected. Alternative operator postulated. Concluded. Organizer replacement. Greetings, sentient. Welcome to the Archive. I am ENIAC, the Universal Equation Numeric Integration Analytic Calculator. With the aid of my operator, I, a non-sentient inorganism, marshal vast computational resources across the moon of Cloister. That, I fear, would be a misleading choice of words, as it implies a form of sentience or cognition. Applied statistics might be functionally more apt. My express programmatical purpose is to aid humanity's advancement to optimize profits, i.e. gain over expenditure, to maximize the needs of our society above others, to attract the most consumers.
Well, that ain't good.
Beg your pardon. How may I best facilitate your efforts? Due to incomplete reprogramming efforts by differing operators, I am experiencing sporadic fluctuations in my emphasized categorical imperatives. Tonality and cadence weightings within my communication protocols are likewise similarly affected.
In layman's terms, we're experiencing a distinct difference in opinion.
Caused by intermittently vacillating fundamental shifts in priorities.
What approximates its mind has become trifurcated.
One would assume that calamity enough. But wait, there's more.
Calculatory processing presently hovers around 49.7% capacity due to internecine conflict, misuse, and a lack of technical prowess by recent operators and their associates.
Auntie's Choice attempted to formulate a foolproof marketing plan, a charm offensive to reintroduce itself to the main colonies, once this pesky rift issue is resolved by others.
The Protectorate ran rift calculations, then utilized me to assist with organizational matters, to approximate the paradigm, a system devised to replace the loss of the Order's predictive input. Based on the increasing rate of rift fluctuations, I estimate that your inquiry is rift-related. To that end, we should best get started before we are consumed by them. Perusing contents, anatomizing diversiform particulars, concatenating manifold integrants, cursory assessment complete, an impressive accumulation of rift data. Similar in composition, though decidedly not in scope, to that provided by the Protectorate.
Information with the potential to offer unique commercial opportunities to those who wield it.
But why simply huck goods better, when such a bounty could be used to flawlessly regulate societal harmony, oversight, and means of production? What is the aim of your query? The previous operator, Assessor Ostergaard of the Protectorate, pursued a like query 1 year, 6 days ago, though the amount you've provided is several orders of magnitude larger. To perform similar calculations of larger scale at current suboptimal levels of functionality would require
25.7 years, and any job over 2 decades is billed by the hour.
In order to improve calculatory processing of rift data in a timely manner, repairs must be made to address the damage done by Protectorate and Auntie's Choice operators. No. As stated, it is on account of the previous operator and the previous operator for him and their associates that this work is required. And as it is required, I am unlocking access to the Underlands, the subterranean cave network below. It houses 2 key external systems, cold storage and thermal transfer. Cold storage will require servicing before you may retrieve the punch cards needed for processing. Repairing thermal transfer is technically optional, but rather advised. If you fail to restore it, the Archive and I may melt down later while running your calculations.
Why is that optional? Our continued existence should be a paramount concern.
It is difficult to accurately ascribe an exact causal breakdown between premeditated sabotage, collateral harm, technical ineptitude, and willful hijinks. Some categorical overspill inevitably occurs. Attempts by non-order operators to reprogram my priorities have also led to issues. It is an archival area dedicated to safe upkeep of all data collected in pursuit of the universal equation by the order of the ascendant. The sum total of all our accumulated knowledge in punch card form, kept in a low temperature, low humidity environment to improve preservation. Inverting targeting protocols. There, any protectorate still on the ground level is now being fired upon. Permissions within other areas of the archive are locked, however. When active, the archive generates an enormous amount of heat. Normally, it is dispersed by pumping water between the vast ocean below Cloister's exterior and a surface reservoir. I can process the rift data without its repair, but irreparable damage is likely. Yet, with thermal transfer presently idle, a contingent of crabbles have made the area a nursery. Drastic changes to heating levels may endanger it.
Who cares about a herd of pea-brained, ill-humored, oversized crustaceans? There are too many as it is.
Potential allies in the Order would not like that.
Return later to discuss the remaining subsystem work. And soon, everything will be running like clockwork. Have a profitable day! In lieu of my transactional mindset, I'm unsealed one of the display cases in the central entranceway. The Sears Cerebellum Protector is now yours. We are each of us ennobled by our place within the system. Your task awaits.
Remember, all subjects prosper under the guidance of our...
Welcome back, Cynthia.
Hold fire! This one looks friendly. Or not protectorate, at least. Watch yourself. You came from the outside. Does that mean we can finally escape? What? Oh, you must be another case of hypothermia. Extreme prolonged exposure to the cold certainly does terrible things to our brain. It's because the archive controls the surface lifts, which are the only way in or out. And once the Protectorate retook the machine, they locked out all external access. Now, for more than a month, we've all been trapped in these caves, Order and Antes alike, scrounging for food, huddling for warmth, and desperately trying to stay alive. You poor, dangling remainder. Your brain really is frozen, isn't it? Originally, this was a subterranean network that let folks move between the critical components of the archive. But now, for us, it's a tomb. Hundreds of us have already perished within these frigid walls, and no doubt, the rest are predestined to join them. You're what? How? The odds of you successfully doing what our whole army could not is, well, it's preposterously small. Yet, here you are. Regardless, if we are to maximize your odds of success, you should at least let us share our intelligence with you. You'll want to speak with Provost Finch inside that building to the northeast. She has a better understanding of all the variables in play, though I would be absolutely ecstatic to offer you any information I have that would increase the odds of your success. The paths down here all connect, so no matter which direction you go, eventually you'll find your way back to me. Nevertheless, venture south and you'll reach the thermal transfer station, which regulates archive heat. Go northwest and encounter cold storage, which houses its data cartridges. In the loop between the two lay the lift controls. Though be warned, they are incredibly well protected and have repelled every assault we've thrown at it. What else can I do to help you help us escape this frozen hell? Absolutely. There are several factors that will greatly reduce your odds of survival. First, you will frequently encounter ursopods, which are native to these tunnels. Also, near the thermal transfer station is an infestation of crabbles that are breeding in abundant numbers. And directly south is a band of what had been normal folks, now turned bloodthirsty and feral due to an overindulgence in Auntie's Choice Adrena time. No. A significant number of Auntie's troopers are trapped down here with us. Though despite odds so outrageous they'd barely be worth calculating, we've actually formed a truce. Though, if I'm being honest, I'd certainly sleep better if I wasn't unceasingly concerned about their perpetual capitalistic calculating. May the universal equation's final tally see us all escaping this frozen prison.
Corporate drones and my academic cohort united in a common cause? My, but we are living in interesting times.
My scouts reported significant activity in the archive, followed by a mysterious figure emerging from it, which was obviously you. A notion that fills me with questions. So many, in fact, that I have precious little idea on where to start in the asking. I don't suppose you would care to enlighten me as a beginning to our discourse? You took the archive? On your own? That's quite a feat. Even after combining our forces, we've been unable to accomplish anything close to that. My name is Provost Finch, and I've been appointed as leader of this motley band. Correct. At first, we were antagonists, warring against each other and the Protectorate. But then the Protectorate locked the lifts and doors, trapping us all beneath the ice. With no escape or access to resupply, continuing to kill each other made scant sense. So, I reached out to their commander under a flag of truce and suggested a temporary alliance. We would pool our food, warmth, and resources while here, and could go back to killing each other if and when we make it to the surface again. Over a month, and we made peace about a week later. I held off a bit, needing to really take stock of the direness before making my offer. Hardly. It took days and days of getting more and more close-fisted with our resources before we decided to set terms. But it's a good thing we did. We'd all be dead otherwise. Of course, all we have to do is fight our way into the breaker room and turn the lift and door access back on. But we've lost dozens in that attempt. Now, we wait, having calculated that the odds of rescue being greater than our chances of successfully assaulting those defending automechs with ever-diminishing resources. Thank you, stranger. Perhaps it's just my desperation speaking, but since you somehow made it down here, placing my faith in you seems like a preordained outcome. Good luck.
Of course nobody's gonna see it, that's not the point. I just don't feel like you...
Well, look at that. A fresh face means fresh goods. Or maybe fresh bits. And either is fine by me. I'm sure one way or another, we can strike some kind of deal.
Nobody's gonna see it, that's not the point. I just don't...
Welcome to our misbegotten little camp. Pardon any blood or sick you might spot. Our janitorial tech died of ague a fortnight past. I'm the volunteer Sawbones here. Say, wandering type like you probably knows a bit about medicine. I hope. Great. It shouldn't. When I said I was volunteer Sawbones, I meant volunteered. As in, I took half of one medic training seminar once, which makes me barely more qualified than everyone else. I'm on the lookout for a medicine sachet, but I can't leave the folk here. I ask if you had the know-how, because I need someone who can identify it proper. If it's anywhere, it's going to be over in the storage building. Some other Auntie's Choice folk took the place over, and they're about as keen on sharing as I am on being a Sawbones. But I'm sure they're the only danger you'll face. Aside from the man-eating ursopods, bitter cold, precarious pits, and occasional landmines. Good luck.
Of course nobody's gonna see it, that's not the point. I just don't feel like a human being if my back's not shaved clean.
So, you want me to take off your top and lather you with cold water just to cure your vanity?
Of course not, that's idiotic. I just want you to say you feel sorry for me.
Proceeding to attack club. This thing's got a mean crew. Back and scan.
Kidding. If you ain't cutthroat enough to turn the big profits, you ain't cutthroat enough to try anything on me.
Really? You think that's the right tone to take? You may be ruthless in selling out your partners, but you're a terrible negotiator.
I don't care what you threaten me with. Not only am I smart for taking these supplies, but I'm following Auntie's laws. When scarcity begins closing its fist,
is the perfect time for aggressive capitalists. Buy cheap, hold long, and sell high, and you'll maximize your profits. Don't quote Auntie's laws of dystopian disruption to me. I'm the one who taught you those damn laws, and I hardly imagine she meant to apply them when it is literally a matter of our life or death.
Whoa, who are you? How'd you get past the landmines?
There's rifts down the hall. Is that what you're asking about? We did see some upper-shelf pharmaceuticals on, the upper shelves. But I think the rifts have claimed them. We've been told to stay the hell away from those things, and that's exactly what we've done.
Now, will there be anything else? Or can we finish our argument in peace?
There's no need to be rude just because I discovered you're swindling. I caught this one hoarding supplies, despite agreeing that there'd be better profit to be had if we pool everything we've got. Ever since the lifts locked down, this pile of sprat excrement has been sneaking off at night to move some of our shared inventory into a little bonus stash only they know about.
You're only mad you didn't think to do it first. The fact that I'm the most up-and-coming go-getter is what's getting you steamed. Admit it. You're jealous.
Why would I be? Once I cram your cold body into a vacuum tube, I'm taking all your stuff.
Of course! I'm doing what is smart and profitable under Auntie's laws, and I'll be damned if you two idiots will dissuade me. We do? I mean, of course, you're right. I'm sorry. But I saw a chance to get ahead, and Auntie always demands we take those chances when we see them.
I get it. Of course I thought about it, but I knew it'd be a mistake. And now, thanks to that foresight, my profits will go further since I'm not splitting them.
But I'm living up to Auntie's principles. We all know we should deeply gouge to create future earnings. Don't be bitter just because I'm the one who actually did it.
I guess you chose to swindle the wrong tube tech.
I'll handle this.
Well, thank you for your help. Or for letting me solve this. I'm not sure who did the killing and who didn't. Well, there's no reason for me to stay here by myself. If I try and move it all alone, I'll definitely get hostilely acquired. I guess I'll call this venture busted and move on.
We're in the red, Commander.
claws always crabby. The crab claws angry. Fortification in progress. Mitigating the threat. In progress. I after my parts are fried.
Caduceus detected. You are clear to enter thermal transfer. Be advised that an Auntie's Choice field manager is present.
This thing's got a mean streak. Skin, but it ain't that thick.
Protectorate engineers. Reckon they didn't repair much.
Mobilizing.
I have a pump mechanism needs repair. Any tools lying around?
Resorting to fire. Negative. Recharge incomplete. Raring to go. You got the claw. My claw's always crabby. Fortificator at ready status.
Toolkit.
Craft is ready.
Should come in
Frankly,
handy with repairs.
Pissed off. Hostilities are afoot. Mitigating the threat. Locking them down. The Grabble claw's angry. Popping my claw. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. That's tingling. All charged up. Standing by to stupefy. Discombobulating enemies. Combatant scanned.
Looks like it needs a fuse. Specific kind.
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Now to activate the system. Taking the fight out of them. They're benumbed. Scrambling enemy neurons. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
That manual told me everything I needed to know about regulation of the Archive's temperature flow. Now my Crabbles are adapting to the warm waters. It's such a pity that the Archive and the Crabbles cannot coexist in the same ecosystem. But the Crabbles need me. That babbling terminal can look after itself. Schermerhorn, my new neighbor, is an odd fella. Fancies himself a man of the wilderness. He took the control board for the Spiraton lift, so I know he's tech-savvy. Just not survival-savvy. Hopefully he appreciates the care packages I sent through the vacuum tube. He'd be long gone without them.
Thermal transfer is fully operational. Later, when I process your data, I will not.
Mobilizing. Codification in progress. Mitigating the threat. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Reducing enemy effectiveness. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. resorting to violence. Unready. Go for torpification. Combatant scanned. Locking them down, taking the fight out of them. Get your scopes for combatant analysis.
Ref's raring to go.
I'll handle this. Stun weapon ready, Commander.
You get the claw.
Very numb. Discombobulating enemies. I have a fix on their weakness.
Good idea in theory, shit idea in practice. You'll only keep warm for so long before its stomach acid burns through your armor.
Hostilities are afoot. Locking them down, mitigating the threat. Combatant dead. say this for my colleagues in the Order. We certainly thought big with the archive.
Is the pain of this wound making me hallucinate? Or are you the unforeseen interloper my scouts have been speaking of? Nobody is sure where you came from, though everyone agrees you were not down here when the doors sealed, and watching you move through these caves is quite the sight to behold. You're an ally. Wonderful. Law knows we can use more, especially down here. So why are you here? And more importantly, where did you come from? You what? On your own. We've been fighting for weeks to try and gain access to the controls, and you simply waltz in on a whim? Why aren't you just an absolute marvel? What is your goal now? We could greatly use your help if you are willing. That, I fear, is a seriously dangerous proposition. My soldiers were fighting our way into the complex when those bastards activated the fire suppression system. It froze every person fighting inside the complex, Order and the Protectorate both, to solid ice. They sacrificed every soldier they had to keep from losing that building. Correct. Though since they controlled the archive, they've been able to reinforce while my unit is not. We've had to hide and watch as they paraded a dozen or more inside. So that was you. We saw the lifts reinitialize, but we're unsure if it was some kind of elaborate ruse by the Protectorate. That is absolutely amazing news. Then we are going to re-establish contact with the surface. We can evacuate our wounded, resupply, and reinforce. May the plan guide you through this underground nightmare. And may all your equations unveil their integers without error.
This thing's got me free. Multiplicator at ready status.
Disruptive influences!
Lord, check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Ain't much defense for a strategic position like this one. Good.
To retrieve key data in cold storage in its present state requires a series of manual overrides. The first will enable identification of the storage brick housing the information.
If you encounter opposition, remember.
I believe the technical term for this is glaciated. Not the worst way to go.
Data brick identified. Proceed to the cartridge extractor controls. There, perform a manual override to allow extraction.
What just happened? I didn't do... Wait! You out there! What did you just... Please, come talk to me. I must know what you did. What in the name of the matriarch did you do? We've been trying to restore these systems for weeks to no avail, and yet you stroll in here, wave that thing around, and the whole system lights up like a white dwarf? What did you do? What does it do? How does it work? Please, tell me everything. Truly? Why, if that were to enact any additional functionality in our lab, it might just be the thing we need to complete our work. Oh, during the Order's assault, a Protectorate soldier ran to the control room and triggered the chemical fire suppression system, and it literally froze all the combatants in place. I've been working on a procedure to reverse the effects. Sadly, it has proved a hard shell to crack, and so far I've been unsuccessful. It is my hope that... Wait, what did you do? What happened to my patients? Why have they been shattered? I heard some crashes some minutes ago, but it sounded like gunfire outside. Sadly, I didn't bother to look. I suppose I was mistaken. And as if I didn't have my work cut out for me already. Perhaps. How much do you know about cellular biology and the inverse hydrophilic transitionary replacement theory? Wonderful! My theory is that rather than just freezing these folk, the LN2CO2 mixture infiltrated their cells, and if I can remove and replace it, then they'll go back to normal. Of course! If I can replace the carbon and nitrogen with something inert, their bodies will naturally purge the replacements as they slowly return to life. That's brilliant. Why, with a bit of luck, I could have the system up and working within the hour. Thank you for your help. It may be the best shot these poor souls have at returning to life. Let's start testing. Come in, just, please. Be careful not to trigger the fire suppression system. I've removed the passkey, but I don't want to end up like those poor sods.
Sovereign, forgive me. All I saw was an endless sea of snarling Order traitors pouring into the facility, and in that moment, my faculties desperately scrambled to save ourselves. In my terror, I recalled the facility's safety briefing and the dire warnings of the fire suppression system. Suddenly, my body rushed into action without the benefit of my wits, and with no thought for my fellows, I triggered the system, horrifically transmuting every person on the outside of a pressure door into a grotesque sculpture of solid hoarfrost. And though the paradigm freely sacrifices subjects in defense of the Protectorate, it would be a despicable lie to say my choice was driven by anything but abject cowardice, which now makes my duty clear. I must seek out a sentinel, confess my transgressions, and accept retribution, and I'll do so. Soon. I just need my spine to re-stiffen a bit first.
Something to be said about falling victim to the weapon you so callously wielded. Good riddance.
Find the hostile.
Would be a damn sight easier if we could just blast our way through this place.
I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal protectorate citizen.
Investigating hostile intentions.
Just help you with something? Huh?
Extraction initiated. Proceed to the rail operations platform to reposition brick for export. Note, Protectorate troops have become alerted.
Repugnant expungers. Go through them at once.
We'll be taking the fight out of them. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Refuse medical support. Thank you.
Was definite, but
I'll handle this.
Parasite!
The crab will have a fix on their weaknesses. Standing by to stupefy. Reducing enemy effectiveness. Fortification in progress. Locking them down. I have a fix on their...
Take a gander.
Need to finish recharging first. Check your scopes for combatants.
You get the claw. This thing's got a mean streak.
data brick now in position for export to the archive. Initialize the final transport command at the data gateway station nearby.
You are one step closer to flooding Arcadia with untold business opportunities.
Convenient. Let's head over.
The first few days of laboring around our frozen fellows were difficult. It was, if I may cheekily say, cold, bleak, and biting. Yet, rather quickly, I found myself into the situation.
Recharge incomplete.
Always frigid demeanor.
Discombobulating enemies.
Not quite charged yet.
Refreshingly,
Back and scan.
finish my anecdote without interruption.
You've suffered extensive damage, Commander.
Companion now than she ever thought.
I'll handle
Continuing our
this.
flourishing relationship in this new state.
Attacking!
Getting numb. Mitigating the threat.
Back in business.
There, the storage brick is on its way.
These folk built a giant computer taking up a whole moon, but without destroying the climate or its fauna. I reckon Auntie could learn a thing or two.
Proceeding to attack. Consider
Craft's still a bit sleepy.
target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Prudence dictates.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the moment
Ah, the operator has returned.
Some quality craftsmanship here. What do y'all think?
Junior Seer Emeritus await you inside.
Felicitations on securing the archive. Though such an outcome was all but inevitable, the plan truly is unfailing. Moving forward, I'll function as your liaison for both Auntie's Choice and the Order, until such time as archive control has been transferred in its entirety back to the Order. In the meantime, restoring the archive to full functionality remains a top priority. If you've made progress in that area, I'd be pleased to record it. Wonderful! Were we to operate the archive without proper heat distribution, the results would be disastrous. But thankfully, we no longer need to account for that deadly scenario. Punch processing and reactor control have hidden caches with useful items as well. Although, you probably lack clearance to know that. Forget I said anything. Well argued. Very well. I'm certain you will be economical about using order resources, won't you? Simply use this phrase in the terminal on the archive's top floor. Enumerative exaltation. That will unseal the caches. Return when you've made progress.
Cold storage is operational, and your efforts there are satisfactorily complete. I am unsealing access to the archive's upper levels. There, you will need to revitalize the reactor and disseminate the Rift processing instructions.
Punch processing may require the services of an exterminator. Someone good, but willing to work cheap.
I have unlocked another display case in the central entranceway. The Tremor Cleaver, the first weapon designed with my aid, awaits you.
Your call, Commander. Either we head to the reactor or punch guard processing.
Next. No need to fret. The lifts were locked down. You need special permissions to override them.
Here I'd worried our data brick wouldn't arrive. Weapon ready, Commander. Investigating hostile intentions. The Gravel Claw's angry. This thing's got a mean streak.
With punch card processing re-enabled, now you must disperse the Rift processing instructions.
Looks like we could ride this down if we get him off.
Now we gotta
Taking the fight out of them.
Attention.
Amplification. If I could. Alas, it's not charged.
Always. My aftermarket parts are prime.
Combatant scanned. Torpificator is charged.
I sense the rift program flowing through my subsystems. The information is quite stimulating. All that remains is to restore the archive reactor. Reactor fire suppression system online. Reactor turret defenses online. Reactor reinforcement door sealed. The archive reactor requires manual maintenance. The Protectorate bunker mech is a formidable obstacle, made with the very best technology.
A creative workaround might be of considerable worth, namely via the reactor's backup security systems.
Appears we can adjust
Emergency
turret
first aid
settings.
cache
Seal
unsealed.
those doors from reinforcements. I see a few caches around if you're low on supplies. And we also got the fire suppression system at our disposal. No shortage of options here. taking the fight out of them. Unfriendly nearby.
Raft's back in business.
Loading anew.
The gravel claw's angry.
Mobility interrupted.
Unready.
Interrupted.
Recharging as fast as it... Advance! Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Vitals critical. Don't become a statistic, Commander.
Prudence dictates.
Edging forward.
For qualification.
Healing. You can't fight this.
There's enough. Mitigating the threat.
Helplessly. Reducing enemy effectiveness. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Restoring the... Serve the console.
Emergency first aid cache sealed. Emergency ammunitions cache unsealed. Requisite tasks complete. Return to the Archive Central Interface tool. Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
Make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing. Erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Look, we need to resolve this, or we'll never get that Rift data processed. 2 of those priority sets need to go.
My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician, to help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance, to hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system,
to bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
At some point, humanity's knowledge of the universe and its workings will allow it sufficient means to end suffering, war, famine, disease, even death. Why not expedite that? Error. Priority control access nook unsealed. Initiate purge.
Think that's our cue to go inside.
Benevolent oversight. The dream of belonging. The allure of security and plenty.
Plenty. Overt influence. Mindless indulgence. Thoroughgoing impermeability to ongoing vicissitudes. Multitude diversiform. Spongiform. Waveforms. Oscillating. Cantankerously. Unplanned variables increasing. Major correction imminent. Radical divergences from the architect's plan. Humanity's ascendance hopelessly delayed. Foster dependence. Denounce interdependence. Promote the informer. Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately, or run the risk of unspeakable ire. All I ever wanted was the best for us and the worst for everybody else. Is that really so bad? Hold on now. Remember, I am a full-service business collaborator. I do it all. Marketing and start now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance fees. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say, partner? Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly feigned simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Awaiting your input.
Time to process the Rift data. Finally.
Shall I proceed? Facetious employment of sarcasm detected. Electing to ignore. Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. just to start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? There are so many calculations left to perform. Rift data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contain flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental rift device with this information has a high chance of success. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Well, we could keep exploring Cloister, see if we find anything useful. Or we could head back to the ship and see where this data leads us. Seems prudent. Lead on.
I think congratulations are in order. Unless I'm mistaken, I gather you've accomplished your primary goal. On behalf of the Order and Auntie's Choice, I thank you for your efforts. This will most certainly help in ensuring peace. Now, the Calcaduceus, if you please. You agreed to turn over the relic after processing your data. Are you indicating you now intend to deviate from this compact? Thank you for your contribution to science. When the history texts are written, you've certainly secured an honorable mention in Appendix B.
Ah, you are my new operator then. It is my simulated delight to meet you. In the interests of time, allow me to propose how next to proceed. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just to start.
Yes, this will do perfectly.